Now let's head over to the Middle East now, where Israel has launched its heaviest attack yet on Gaza, striking from the air, shelling from the sea, and also sending in ground troops towards the heart of the city. But as we see now, Hamas remains defiant, pledging to continue its rocket fire until Israel accepts its terms. Zhang Rui has that.
It's the deepest thrust so far by Israeli troops into Gaza, moving to the heart of densely populated Gaza City on Tuesday. Backed by artillery and attack helicopters, soldiers moved into Tel Hawa neighborhood, within 1.6 kilometers of the crowded city center. Dozens of homes were destroyed as terrified residents ran for cover, with the sounds of intense fighting echoing all over the city. On the same day, Israeli aircraft attacked 60 targets, including tunnels used by Gaza militants to smuggle arms, weapons-making sites, and Hamas command posts. Israel's military chief says his troops have inflicted significant damage on Hamas, but they will continue fighting to further cripple the militant group.
We are working to widen the damage to the military branch of Hamas, to minimize the shooting and to strengthen the deterrent, so we can create a better security reality for Israeli residents in the south.
Israeli Defense Minister Ehud Barak said the military operation will continue in order to stop rocket fire and arms smuggling into Gaza. On the Palestinian side, President Mahmoud Abbas urged Israeli troops to withdraw from Palestinian land.
This aggression must stop. Israel must withdraw from Palestinian lands. The blockade must end. The crossings must be opened. The suffering of the Palestinian people should stop. This is what we want and what we aspire for.
Hamas fired more than 20 rockets and mortar shells toward Israel on Tuesday without causing any injuries. The group says they won't stop firing the rockets until Israel agrees to their terms. Both sides have defied last week's UN Security Council resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire as frequent clashes continue. Hospital officials say more than 970 Palestinians have been killed so far, about 40% of them civilians, including scores of children. Zhang Rui, CCTV.
You got more developments on the same story. Israel says that the government has opened fire on an army outpost along the desert border between Israel and Jordan. The incident on Tuesday brought no reports of casualties, but Jordan has called the claims baseless. A similar shooting took place on the Israel-Syria border on Sunday, and last week militants in Lebanon fired rockets into an Israeli town, an apparent attempt to draw Israel into a second front. The ongoing fighting in Gaza has raised tensions around the region, galvanizing anger towards Israel throughout the Arab world. Meanwhile, ordinary Gazans are becoming more used to coping with conflict, including curfews, street clashes, and most recently severe shortages, all created, of course, by an 18-month border blockade by Israel and Egypt. But Israel's unprecedented operation against Hamas militants has strained their survival skills. At the same time, ordinary children are among the most defenseless victims in this ongoing disaster. Yang Yan has that.
Children are playing on the rubble of destroyed buildings as their parents struggle to salvage what's left of their possessions. This boy still remembers what he experienced.
I was at my grandfather's house. I heard the shelling and ran away. When I came back, I saw all of it was gone. There is no longer a house.
The massive bombardment has badly disrupted the flow of electricity and water, which was already frequently disrupted before the start of the war. One woman says she has nothing to give her children.
The windows are gone. We have no gas, no electricity, and no water. We just keep trying to distract the children as there's no food, no bread to eat.
The United Nations Children's Fund says some children are so traumatized by the fighting that they are unable to speak. Others are simply wishing for a return to normal life.
I wish to live in peace like all children of the world. I wish the war would end and we could go back to school.
Children make up more than half of Gaza's 1.4 million people. They are among the most defenseless victims of the war between Israel and Hamas. Yang Yan, CCTV.
Well, a high-ranking Israeli defense official is set to arrive in Egypt on Wednesday for talks on a possible ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. Amos Gilad, head of the Diplomatic Security Bureau, will meet Egyptian intelligence chief Omar Suleiman, indirectly bargaining with Hamas. Gilad has postponed his trip over recent days. His visit could be seen as a signal progress in peace talks, as Hamas has also resumed negotiations in Cairo on an Egyptian truce initiative. Now, at the same time, China is calling on all parties involved in the Gaza crisis to stop military actions immediately to avoid any more casualties. Foreign Ministry spokesman Jiang Yu made a statement on Tuesday. Israel and Hamas have rejected the UN Security Council resolution that calls for a cessation of the ongoing violence.
呼吁以色列和巴勒斯坦有关的派别
We call for Israel and Hamas to abide by the UN Security Council Resolution 1860. It is imperative that they cease all military actions immediately and alleviate the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. We will also support Egypt and other efforts to help resolve the crisis.
Over in New York, it's been confirmed at a meeting of the UN Security Council that a Chinese envoy Sun Bi-gan is on a mission to the Middle East for peace mediation efforts. Officials say China is ready to work with the international community to bring all parties concerned back to the negotiating table in order to achieve a durable peace. Officials also say the top priority is to achieve the full implementation of the UN ceasefire resolution. Now, U.S. Secretary of State nominee Hillary Clinton told lawmakers Tuesday that the Obama administration would spare no efforts to forge an Israeli-Palestinian peace. Speaking at her confirmation hearing before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Clinton said she understands Israel's desire to defend itself from Hamas rockets and feels pained by the suffering of both Palestinian and also Israeli civilians. Clinton pledged that the Obama government would never give up on the peace process. Clinton also said that the U.S. must effectively challenge Iran to stop its nuclear weapons program. The former First Lady and Senator appears headed for easy confirmation, encountering no strong challenges to her basic vision for foreign policy.